Today we're welcoming our new skipper, James Jones. James, congratulations on your appointment. Tell us about how it all came about and how you found out that you were going to be the captain of Altrincham Football Club.
It was all relatively straightforward, really. When we came into pre-season, the gaffer said to us quite early on that he was deciding what he was going to do. He had some names in his head, but he was just taking his time to have a think about it and I think see how the pre-season was going to evolve. And then it was before we went away to Holland, he pulled me in for a chat and just said that he'd like me to be the captain. Obviously, my longevity here, and I've done a lot at the football club, and it's probably maybe a little bit of a natural progression. And there was other contenders as well in the team. There's a much stronger leadership group, I think, this year than what we had last year. But no, he asked me if I wanted to do it, and of course it's something I want to do.
And you, of course, are now the only playing link with the start of Phil Parkinson and Neil Sorville's tenure back in 2017. You were one of the trialists in that first game at Whitchurch at Allport, which we've spoken about before, and you were offered a contract at Altrincham Football Club that season, and your career at Altrincham has been very successful and has progressed throughout.
Yeah, it's obviously I was here and then leaving and coming back. It's really gone full circle from where I was, like you say, coming in on trial, having to earn a contract here, then not being a regular member of the starting 11 with Tom Hannigan and Ben Harrison in front of me, working my way past them, doing well, getting the promotions we had, leaving, then coming back. I've had to sort of re-establish myself again because I know I struggled to form a little bit when I came back at the start of last season, but the gaffer persevered with me, and he knows what I'm capable of, and as the season went on, I got better and better and really started to find myself and play my own game the way I want to play it. And like I say, we've really gone full circle now. Sat here as captain, but something I'm really proud of, because there's been lots of ups and downs, but in the end I've managed to come out on top from them.
And one of the things that I noticed when you came back is you were a lot more vocal than you were in your first spell, which is to be expected. You were away for 2 years. You were a relatively young player when you were here for the first 3 seasons, but I particularly noticed it in the training game or the friendly game that we played at Fleetwood last season. And I guess on an empty pitch, you hear everything that all the players are saying, but you were certainly one of the most vocal people on the pitch. And I'm guessing that you've had designs on becoming captain of a club at some stage.
Potentially, maybe. I think it's the kind of thing you just take as it comes. It's not something you have loads of control over. It's always decisions in other people's hands. All you can do is try and be yourself. As a centre-half, I want to be vocal. I want to be trying to help my teammates out and be that player on the pitch for the team and for the manager. I think when you have those characteristics, which you can only develop with time and with understanding the game, then you probably do move yourself into a position where you're going to be one of the people that's considered when the role like captaincy or vice-captaincy comes up. So it's not something that I've always thought, I'm desperate to be captain, that's where I want to be. It's been a natural progression, and I think my skill set where I'm at now suits the role well.
How much did you learn from playing alongside Tom Hannigan, because he had been captain of AFC Fylde, very, very vocal on the pitch, and a senior player at the time he was with Altrincham Football Club?
Yeah, playing with Tom was massive for me. It was probably my breakout period as a player. I was always a midfielder growing up and got moved to centre half when I was about 15, 16, and even from that point to when I signed here when I was 20, I still probably played centre half, but with an attacking mentality where I wanted to go past people. I wanted to do things that you shouldn't be wanting to do as a centre-half, because it just causes trouble, and it took me a while to learn that lesson. And then it was really playing with Tom, where I just really saw how well he did the basics every single game. There was never any doubt that he was going to be below an 8 out of 10. And that's when I really started to understand what it required to be a centre-half and play week in, week out. And like I say, that was the partnership that probably made me playing with Tom.
And you've become captain at an important stage in your life because you're expecting your first child shortly.
Yeah. It's going to be busy, but really exciting, moving forward with my family, moving forward professionally here. There's lots of exciting things going on, so I'm really happy and looking forward to it all at the minute.
And that's clearly going to put some additional pressure on you, and that's certainly something that Phil Parkinson will have considered in terms of making the decision as captain. Are you fully confident that's not going to be an issue?
Yeah, no, like I say, I back myself. It's part of it, being a footballer. Lots of footballers have young families, and like I say, it'll be busy, but it's nothing that I won't be able to handle.
And after the announcement, unique occasion over the weekend when we travelled to the Netherlands to take on NEC Nijmegen, and overall the whole weekend was, I think, a superb experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think it was a great success, whichever way you look at it, really. If you look at it from where the football club's been to where it is now, sort of 5-6 years ago when the gaffer and Neil came in, and the club was, in the worst state it's been for a long time, and since then the club's now full-time competing in the National League, and doing things like going on tour in Europe. Would have just felt back then, 5-6 years ago, a million miles away. So I think it shows, the direction the club's going in and the journey that it's on. And playing against high quality opposition is always a good test for the lads. It's always, you want to test yourself and really see where your game's at. I think for the most part we did well. I think the scoreline was pretty unfair. I think there was probably 3 really avoidable goals for us, although they controlled the game and possession. I don't think it was a 4-0 game. I think that was unfair, but that is what it is when you're playing against those players. They put you under a lot of pressure, and those mistakes can happen. And then also getting everyone out there and meeting with the fans and all the directors being out there. I think it was a good experience for everyone from top to bottom, directors to fans, to build that togetherness.
And whilst we didn't test the keeper on too many occasions, we did have quite a few half chances. And at 0-0, you had a very good chance with a header from a corner that might have been a little bit underplayed in terms of the commentary and the match reporting. Yeah,
I was gutted with that, to be honest with you. It was almost too good a chance where the ball was coming in, and I was in my own head thinking, I have to score here, because I couldn't believe how much time I had, and then almost overthought it. It's almost easier when you're wrestling someone who's 6'4" and you're just doing it all unconsciously, attacking the ball. But I sort of realised how much time I had, and I'd got the better of the lad. And then, like I say, I'd got in my own head a bit. I guess that's why I'm back in our box instead of the other box and not a striker.
In terms of the football club, there's a strategic vision to get this football club into the Football League. Certainly Phil Parkinson and Neil Sorville, as the management team, have got a vision of where they want the club to be and what the objective is. What's your vision as captain of Altrincham Football Club?
Exactly the same as them and everyone else at the football club. I want to go back and play in the Football League. I did okay there, but I don't think I did myself justice. And I want to go back there and prove what I can do, but I want to do it with the football club. I think the older you get, you start to ask yourself what you want from your career. And I'm 26 now, and football's a really mercenary business around this sort of age when lads know they're sort of getting into their real earning years. and lads will jump ship for a couple of £100 a week to move sideways or backwards or whatever. But I've no interest in that. I think I want to be part of a real story here, which is what we're on and which I've been part of from the very start. And like we said, I've gone full circle. And I think to have signed here, 6 years ago with the club in a real difficult spot, to potentially have the opportunity to captain them into the Football League, that would be something amazing to put my name to, along with everyone else here who's been on that journey and done their bit along the way. But to actually be able to see that over the line as captain is a real driving and motivating factor for me.
And how well do you feel we are set up for the upcoming season, which starts a week on Saturday against Dagenham and Redbridge, to achieve that?
I think that this squad is probably the strongest squad we've had. The signings that have been brought in have been real National League signings that an established club who's trying to push somewhere would go. Signing players that other teams are in competing for, but they came here over other places because they can see the vision in place and they can see what we're trying to do. So, listen, it's an impossible thing to put a time frame on and say this season we're going to get promoted or next season or the season after. The goal for us is to keep improving every year. We know we're realistic. We know where we stand within the the finances in the league. And we know there's much bigger hitters than us, but we think we do things better than other people in different respects, and that's where we get our edge. And like I say, we want to keep improving year on year, and then hopefully that will take us into those playoffs where we want to get to, whether that'll be this year, next year, the year after, who knows, but I'd like to think it's in the short to medium term we're going to be able to hit those levels, and that's certainly the goal for everyone and what we're working towards.
The three levels that you've played at, essentially National League North, National League and EFL 2, what would you say are the main differences between the three levels?
I think the biggest difference is the higher you go there's no easy games. In the National League North, you could easily turn up and blow anyone away 4-5-0, barring maybe the top 4 or 5 teams. Teams can have real off days, players can have real off days, there's real inconsistency. I think it's probably similar again in this league, but to a much lesser extent, where you look at some of the games last season where we blew Solihull away here, who were a top side in the division, and we got blown away by other teams at times, and we're a good side in the division. So I think in the leagues it's just about consistency. Then you get to the Football League, and every game is real tight. Whether you're playing, 22nd in the league or 15th or top, every game you're pushed to your max because the players are so much more consistent in what they do. So I'd probably say the consistency is the difference between the levels.
And going into this season, if you get a feeling that every club feels that they've got a chance with the promotion of Wrexham and Notts County. Clearly there are favourites, and the likes of Chesterfield are always going to be bandied about. Oldham have clearly got a big budget and planning to get back into the Football League. But I think it's realistic that everyone can go into the season positively, and we're very much in that group.
Yeah, 100%. I think with them two going, it's really opened the whole league up for everyone. And I think anyone, worth their salt's going to be licking their lips and thinking, if we can get on a good run, we'll put ourselves in a really strong position. I think that's the way every team, from the couple of part-time teams in the league to the ones at the top, are going to be looking at and thinking, like I say, it's wide open, but it'll be about being consistent and putting yourself in a position where come March, April time, you're not too far away, which is probably what we didn't do last year. We didn't give ourselves enough of a chance with particularly the start we made to the season. I think we were bottom after 10 games and not won a game. Realistically, we flirted with the playoffs at times, but realistically, you've given yourself far too much to do there. So if we can be consistent a lot more than what we were last season and give ourselves a chance of being in and around it, then, like I say, I think everyone's got a good chance this year in the league.
And I'm guessing over the weekend in the Netherlands, you had the opportunity to speak to quite a few Altrincham fans who I'm sure were keen to talk to the new captain. What sort of feedback did you get?
No, positive really. You know, a lot of people have been really nice, congratulating me, and yeah, like I say, it's exciting. It's exciting for me. It's nice to have people's backings, the manager backing me, and the players in the dressing room. And it's nice to speak to fans who are happy for me, and just everyone's excited for what we're all going to do together.
Well, James Jones, congratulations on being appointed captain of Altrincham Football Club. All the very best with the impending new arrival, and let's look forward to a really positive season, and hope that it's the start of something big in the history of Altrincham Football Club.
Thank you very much.